Well, there you have it. Co-main event, two-division world champion Danny Garcia trying to become a three-division world champion. Moves up in weight to face Erislandy Lara. Gabe, you see them?
What's up, fight fans? Welcome to my channel. This is Johnny. And in today's video, we're going to be going over the statistics that nobody talks about when mentioning this weekend's title fight at 160 pounds between Erislandy Lara and Danny Garcia. Before we go any farther, I want to say thank you to all the new subscribers. Thank you to everybody who's been with me since day one. And if you could please do me a favor right now, if you haven't already, hit the notification button. If you like the content that I create, what this will allow me to do is pop up in your feed every time I put something out. Thank you. All right, guys, this weekend we're in Las Vegas, Nevada. We got Canelo versus Berlanga. This is September 14th for all of Canelo's belts. But in this video, I'm gonna talk a little bit about a fight that's flying under the radar. That's my main event. And call me old-fashioned, or maybe just call me old. By the end of the video, I'll explain to you why this is my favorite fight. We're also gonna break open the statistics between Lara and Garcia. Stay tuned to the end. I'm also gonna give you my prediction video on who I think is gonna win this fight. Guys, it's something that as lifelong boxing fans, whether you're old like me, older than me, or younger than me, if boxing is your favorite sport and you watch the sport for more than just your favorite fighters, you know the sport, it's your favorite thing to see, you'll agree that as we get older, our favorite fighters get older, and with time, we'll watch guys come up who are young prospects, who turn into contenders, who become champions, and we'll watch them retire. The reason why this fight excites me, now, we know we haven't seen Garcia in over 2 years. We know Lara is 41 years old, and both guys are on the twilight of their career. But I want to tell you a short story before we break open the stats about a time back in 2010. One of my childhood buddies at the time had already been the middleweight champion of the world. His name was Kelly the Ghost Pavlik from Youngstown, Ohio. You guys already knew that. And he was being matched up with Paul the Punisher Williams. And at the time, Paul Williams was the boogeyman in the division. They had done their face-offs, and this fight was supposed to go forward. Kelly had to pull out due to an injury, and in steps this hard-hitting Cuban prospect named Erislandy Lara. And this was the first time I had heard about Lara. And Lara and Williams ended up fighting in 2011. This was over 13 years ago. So fast forward to this weekend, Lara's still fighting. He's 41 years old. He's a champion. And you mix that with the storylines of DSG, his career, who he's fought, him stepping up, fighting at 160, and I am sold on this fight. And also, believe it or not, it actually has bigger ramifications. We know that Lara has fought Canelo before at 154, lost a close split decision. Lara's only losses are to Canelo, Hurd, and Paul Williams. And we know Danny Swift Garcia is coming up to 160. He wants to fight for belts again. He's only fought for belts. I'm gonna break open his statistics, and who knows? Whoever wins this fight is possibly set up for a mega fight. That 160 division is now in between Canelo at 168 and all of the killers now at 154. You have Tim Tszyu, Bud Crawford, Seb Fondora, you have Majimov, you have Bohacek, you have Errol Spence Jr. It's not out of the ordinary to say whoever wins this fight between Lara and Garcia could quite possibly get a huge pay-per-view feature in their next bout. So what we're gonna do now is break open Lara and Garcia and talk about the stats, talk about what they've been up to, how they go about their business, and remind everyone who these guys are. Now let's take a closer look at Erislandy Lara. Guys, Lara is 30-3 with 18 knockouts. He's currently ranked number 4 in the world at middleweight. That's 160 pounds. He's fought a total of 236 total rounds in his career, and he carries into the ring a 60% career knockout to win ratio. He's 41 years old, and the proud Cuban is a southpaw standing at 5'9" with a 75-inch reach. His adoring fans call him the American Dream. We last saw him fight Michael Zarafa, who was 31-4, knockout in the second. O'Sullivan, 31-4, knockout in the 8th. LaManna, 30-4, knockout in the first. Vendetti, 22-3, UD in the 12th. Ramon Alvarez, 28-7, knockout in the second. Guys, the last time we saw Lara lose was back in 2018 against Jarrett Hurd, and I already told you earlier, he only has 3 losses. His resume is amazing. His longevity is amazing. And I think he's going to be one of those guys, when it's all said and done, we'll look back on his career and really talk about how good and how great Lara was and currently is. We know what he wants to do. He has power in his hands, and this matchup between him and DSG, I think, presents a lot of opportunities for Lara to showcase his skill set. Before I get into that in the breakdown prediction, I want to take a closer look at Danny Swift Garcia. Guys, DSG is 37-3 with 21 knockouts. He's not ranked in the middleweight division, considering this will be his first fight. He carries into the ring a 57% career knockout to win ratio. The American is an orthodox fighter standing at 5'8" with a 68-inch reach. We last saw him in 2022 against Jose Benavidez Jr., who was 27-1, majority decision. He fought Errol Spence in 2020. He lost a UD. Ivan Redkich, 23-4, UD in the 12th. Adrian Granados, 20-6, knockout in the 7th. When we talk about Danny Swift Garcia, he only has 3 losses, and those were by Thurman, Sean Porter, and Errol Spence Jr. And when you look at Danny Swift Garcia's resume, I want to open up some of his other statistics that we might not talk about very often. Guys, DSG has defeated 6 opponents in world title fights, and he has a career record of 7-3 in those world title fights, 11-3 against former or current world champions. Some of his big victories came against Eric Morales twice, Amir Khan, Zab Judah, Lucas Madison, Lamont Peterson, Paulie Malignaggi, Robert the Ghost Guerrero, and Brandon Rios. Those losses we talked about, hey, you lose to Porter, Errol Spence, and Thurman. I mean, what could you say? Those are some of the toughest guys in his era. The thing about Lara versus Garcia, when you match both of them up side by side, Lara's the older guy, but he's more active. Also, that reach. You mix the reach of Lara versus Garcia, it's going to be a 7-inch differential, and his style. Garcia's strengths are not his feet. We know he's tough as nails. We know he's never been finished. So I think that storyline, Lara versus Garcia, I think Lara is going to want to get Garcia out of there. I don't know if he'll be able to do it, but Lara fans will expect Lara to win by knockout. Garcia fans are going to expect Garcia to win by decision. Vegas put their odds out a few weeks ago, and they haven't changed since then going into the weekend. All the money is on Lara to win. He is a 3-1 favorite, meaning that if you're feeling froggy, if you're a fan of DSG, it's a good opportunity to cross your fingers and see if you can turn back the clocks and win some money. 100 gets you over 300 if Garcia pulls out the victory. Think about predicting a winner of this fight. Now, it would be amazing to see Garcia come back off of a 2-year layoff into a division he's never fought at and beat Lara and become a champion in 160. This would open up a potential huge opportunity fights with maybe Canelo, maybe Terrence Crawford, maybe Bud would want to come up to 160. You guys have heard me talk ad nauseum about the possibilities of what could happen if Garcia could win. Now, my father always said, and you guys know this, I talk about this all the time, bet with your wallet, not with your heart. My heart is with DSG, but I gotta put my money on Lara specifically because of his activity, where he's at in his career. He's the champion and his comfortability in that division. He's shown time and time again that he has knockout power, and when you mix that with DSG's style and his inactivity, Garcia doesn't have the greatest feet throughout his career. He is tough as nails and gritty. I just think that he's gonna be there to get hit. I'm not predicting a knockout, maybe a ref stoppage. I could see maybe in the late rounds, 9th, 10th, or 11th. The pressure of Lara, that reach, that power is probably gonna be too much for DSG. Let me know what you guys think of the matchup for Garcia being an underdog, and how do you see this one going? Leave all that in the comment section below.